Hello. On April 1st, 2020, my brother, he passed away. This was an unexpected shock for me and my family. And my brother wasn't perfect, but he accomplished a lot of things in his life, and I couldn't have been more proud of him. Whatever he did was always with intent, and he always had vision for everything that he did creatively, and he was very accomplished. He was interviewed by NPR. He was the CEO of his own company. Yeah, he founded the Columbus Podcast Festival in 2017. Before the Joe Rogan Experience got big and blew up, it was at Brian's event. He put out 3 comedy albums. The first was a live stand-up album, and the last 2 were sketch comedy albums. And I will link to all 3 of them below in the description. The reason that I waited so long to record this is because I needed to take time to process this and to grieve and inform people of what was going on. But those who deserve to know about it anyway. And I hope that people out there who want to know more about what happened will have the maturity and the respect to be respectful and be cognizant of the privacy of me and my family. My brother wasn't perfect. He made mistakes. But he was very creative, and the work he put out was very good, and he worked very hard on it. And he was always inspired by the people around him and the people he was working with. That's why he would always record the acts from the other guests performing at the events that he hosted. Because even when he would host an event, it wasn't always about him. It was also about the guest. The lineup. And he wasn't perfect. He was human, and his imperfections were what made him human. But despite the mistakes he made and how he may have hurt other people, he was my best friend and I'm always gonna miss him. And he knew me better than anyone else did. So that's something you can't ever really replace. Never. I'm always gonna miss him, and there's always gonna be a part of my heart that feels empty because he's not here anymore. He was a really nice guy. He was a very caring person, and he cared a lot about me and my family and his family. And he was inevitably shaped by the tragedy in his life, but he didn't let that define him. And in fact, at least to me, that's what made his repertoire as a comedian so distinct, was how he turned his pain into something that can make a crowd laugh. And comedy isn't one of the fields creatively that I'm most experienced in, not by a long shot. I'm really not that funny. He knew way more about how to crack a joke and pull a one-liner out of his hat just like that than I ever could or ever will, because he was so determined to be the best that he could be at what he did. And he read so much and he wrote so much. He practiced all the time, and he was always going to different venues to perform so that he could get better. And his work ethic, creatively and otherwise, is something that I will always hold respect for, because he worked harder than so many people out there that I've seen. So that was something else that really made him stand out to me. So, despite this very, very awful, tragic, unfortunate, unnecessary loss, to me, in my mind, this event will not have defined him. In my opinion, my view, will have defined my brother Brian as a person is the creative, comedic repertoire, his body of work that he put out. And I believe, in my mind, that it's something worth hearing, and it's something that you should listen to. So I'll provide links to his 3 albums in the description below. And we talked a lot, and if you listen to his albums, if you listen to them, then what ended up transpiring may not sound it might not come across as a complete surprise when you listen to his albums, because these those thoughts are definitely something that he touched upon in his work, and that's something that he was always good at as well. And it's something that people struggle with a lot creatively, is making what you do personal, putting personality into what you create, because at least I believe that something can be lost if what you're making is too detached from who you are as a person. So I'm gonna link to those albums that he made, and his interview with NPR, and his interview with the Bronx Times. There's no the silver lining for me is what he accomplished, and what he managed to do with the time he had. And honestly, I view the end of his story as an impulsive, rash moment. And I hope that all of you can come to appreciate what he did as a comedian, and value it and laugh at it, because it really is pretty damn funny. So sorry. So I'm always gonna miss my brother, and keep him in my heart, keep him close, and remember him. And I hope you enjoy the albums that he released, because he worked really hard on all three of them, and they're from two different periods of his three different periods of his life. So if you want to know what my brother was like, the good and the bad, then that's the best way to find out, is by listening to those albums and checking them out. So thank you for watching this. If you sticked around until now, then I appreciate that. I needed to. My brother had a public enough presence online, and just out in the real world as well, that it would feel wrong to me to not address what happened. And I hope that how I conducted myself in life will not in any way dishonor him and what he did and what he would have wanted. So that's he didn't live a full life, but he really made the most of the time he had. He turned 26 the day before he died. So thank you for watching. Yeah, that's it.